Hello everyone. So in the process of putting up the box of the box of Allen wrenches, I found this thing sitting up on the table. So I quickly ground it down because it has more leverage. And you're not really looking for a screwdriver effect. You want more of an even, parallel grind down each side. And then I had the lock there with me to test that. Get back, Sparky. You're not going to get in the camera again. I'm sorry. I don't know what she's trying to do. I'm wrestling with a cat here. Cat wrestling. Cat wrestling on Saturday. But it fits pretty well now. And the main reason I need this, if you've got slop in there, when you go to back off your tension on a spool, I don't know if this one has spools, but it should have at least one. And you've got any slop up here in your keyway, your tension wrench can fall off or it can just ping off or whatever. The ideal fit for a top of the keyway tension for me is one that completely fills up that gap. It doesn't push it out too much. You don't want to wallow it out so that, it doesn't, it's altering the lock a lot each time you use it. You want something perfectly, fitting there if at all possible. And Allen wrenches are pretty tough. They're kind of like a pry bar. They're small. And they're available, which is, for me it was available, which was the main thing. So now I've got my Allen wrench that I'm going to use. I'm just going to put a little heat shrink on the end just to help me identify it. I've got some over here, red and blue. So the blue one's a little bit bigger. It will shrink down. Heat shrink will usually go 50% of its diameter. This one's smaller and it's already, looks kind of large. So I'll probably go with that guy. And so that's what I'm going to do next. Heat shrink's pretty easy to work with. You just cut off the length that you want. Get yourself a little lighter. And you get to play with fire. So let me grab my scissors over here, and I've got a lighter handy. So I want it about this long, and this will help identify it. Maybe cushion it a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad as far as cushioning. Because like I said, if you're putting that much pressure on your tension wrench, you're using too much tension probably, even with a master lock. Alright, so I didn't do that right. I should have done it from the middle on the way out, but there we go. Like that. Mine always come a little bit sooty looking because, you can use a hair dryer or something like that, but I like fire. And I'm not always worried about aesthetics. I'm more concerned with function. This is where you burn yourself and you get your hands dirty. Ow, 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 ow. That is warm. Yes. So there we go. I got myself a little homebrew tension wrench. You can do it. Anybody that, even if you don't have a grinder, you can use hand files, especially if you find something close to the diameter that you want already. All you have to do, let's see if I can get this guy out of focus. Oh, Sparky, I knew she was going to do that. She had to get a whisker in there. So, there we go. My next thing will be me attempting to pick it. I'd like to pick it in the vise. I was messing around with it originally in the vise, and I was hearing a lot of clicks, and if it takes a long time, having a lock in the vise really helps, especially as you get older. Your hands can cramp up, or you get arthritis. I don't have any arthritis that I know of, but my hands do cramp up when I'm doing a marathon session on a lock. So, little lock, but apparently many parts to this process of picking it. But now I have one of these, which I can use on anything else that's like 40 thousandths. It's not ideal. It's not perfect. When I get one of those Z wrenches, I'm going to modify it so it has a little cut, like the pry bars do. And you can even do serrations in one. I got a Dremel tool, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I'll probably be happy with this step cut And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I want my, get this guy up here, I want it to come up to here, but not obstruct anything below there. So it's got this whole part here that you can lever on. This one comes fairly close. I mean, it's gobbling off. It could be a little bit longer if you want, maybe a millimeter or two, but not much, because you want to be able to see pin 1. A lot of times pin 1 is the one that's hiding. You're picking everything else, and it's hiding right behind pin 1. And the bigger the tension wrench that you've got obstructing the keyway, the more likely it is to get away. You have to make a conscious effort to remember to pick pin 1. And a lot of times pin 1 is the one that triggers it, but you never know. Just depends on the binding order. So there we go. That's that, and hopefully I will get to a successful opening. Look at that. She wants to get her face in there. So there you go. She's in a bad way. She's an old cat, and she's been going downhill lately, but and wants a lot of attention, which I'm giving her. So there we go. Hopefully I will show you an opening on the next video, but at least an attempted picking. We've at least got to that part.